why people like anime girls. This was another recommendation of yours. Let's get right into it.
This is an anime girl. To the average observer, this may look like just another animated character.
Yo, you know who else is an anime girl? This girl. Sorry.
But what if I told you that characters like this have been reaching international popularity? Whether you're from Japan or not, the odds are that you yourself have seen someone online using an anime girl as an avatar. In this
He's speaking about profile pictures, right?
video on PaxTube, we're here to find out why these characters are so well liked. Ladies and gentlemen, let's...
Violet! Violet Evergarden! Oh, I love this anime so much.
Let's talk about anime. Specifically, the anime and manga industry produced by Japan. This art industry has become very popular around the world, especially on the internet.
Yeah.
Unlike Western animation, which typically gears itself toward children, the anime industry targets a wide variety of age demographics.
Because technically, I know this is gonna sound blasphemous, but anime is just a cartoon in the end. Like, it's just Eastern cartoon. It's their version of cartoons. It's their version of animated series. Like how cartoon is very vast and has a lot of different styles, so does anime.
You'll find fans who are adults and teenagers alike. In recent years, Western companies have even attempted live-action adaptations of anime.
I've seen neither. I heard bad things about the Death Note one. I don't know if the Ghost in Shell one was good. Has anyone watched that?
With
Japanese people call any animation anime. Well, there you go.
not
Okay, Ghost in Shell doesn't seem to be that good.
much success, to put it lightly. But the
one good live-action adaptation is One Piece. How old is this? 4 years ago. Okay, fair. One Piece was not done yet.
The popularity of anime in the West is worthy of investigation, and it leads us to some telling conclusions. A key factor that stands out in anime's success is its female characters,
Mikasa,
who garner fan bases in and of themselves.
Mikasa!
The term waifu, a variation of the word wife, is used commonly in anime circles to refer to one's favorite female character.
Chat, who's your anime waifu? Who is your anime waifu, chat? Do you have a favorite one?
It's become obvious at this point that anime girls have a special charm that viewers in the West are picking up on. Firstly, appearance. Now, the most common explanation of why anime girls are popular...
Yoshino from Data Life. Haven't watched that. Speedwagon? What is Speedwagon? Filthy Frank.
...is that they're cute. And that's very true. These characters are professionally designed to be feminine and attractive.
The side view reminded me of a cat side view. Have you seen that image where anime girls are just cats from the side?
There are entire animation methods devoted to their styles. The physical traits that are highlighted in anime include flowing hair, large and detailed eyes, and slim or curvaceous bodies. These features are highlighted because they're widely accepted as beautiful.
I mean, look at Violet. She is so pretty. Look at her, man. Oh, she's so pretty!
Some might argue that beauty is subjective, but let's face it, there are ultimately physical traits that people are biologically wired to be attracted to.
100% yes. I mean, bigger boobs used to mean higher survivability rate, better for offspring, you know? So yeah.
Those creating anime do not try to obscure this. It should also be noted that these female designs go hand...
I love this anime, by the way. This anime is so good. Rascal does not dream of a bunny girl. Look, watch the anime if you haven't seen it yet. Really fucking good.
...in hand with clothing that accentuates their feminine features, such as ribbons, bows, or other hair accessories. Meanwhile...
Hair accessories? Ribbons? Bows? Couldn't be me. Chat, am I an anime girl? Am I an anime girl? Chat, ribbons, hair accessories? I don't have those. I could never. I would never.
Well, some character designs are more childlike, which are intended to trigger protective instincts from the viewer. You could call this the cute or comfy factor. Now, of course, anime doesn't exist in a vacuum, so to understand its ascendancy in the West, we also need to look at what's going on in Western media. In Western media, by contrast, there's been efforts to reduce character designs that even differentiate
And chat, this video was 4 years ago. It's even worse now. This was in 2020. It's even worse now. I mean, just look at the shit that's been going on in recent years. Oh my god, man. Oh my god.
between men and women. Some have linked this to the fat acceptance and androgynous movements. But truthfully,
Bro. We're back to my old topic, fat acceptance. There's no such thing as body positivity for fat people. Or rather, it shouldn't exist. Because fat people make body positivity only about themselves. As soon as it's a person with any disfigurement, may they be a birth victim. What? Victim of being born. May they have a birth defect or a burn victim. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Except fat don't romanticize us. Yes, that's a good point. That's a good way to put it. Like, accept it. That it exists. Don't shame people for it. But also don't glorify it. And don't pretend that it's healthy. Because it's not. Being a twig isn't healthy either. That is true. It's not healthy either. I will never accept you breaking apartment ceilings just by stepping on the floor above. Ouch. Time to cancel Kitsu again. Yep, time to cancel me again.
Two movements are simply two branches of the entire source. That source is feminism, which has come to utterly dominate Western media. Hollywood and television studios consistently identify more as feminist and liberal than the general public. This is then reflected in their portrayals of women. In a great irony, feminism rejects the value of femininity and works instead as a conduit to make females masculine.
Oh my god! That is so fucking true. He put that so well. Let's fucking hear that again.
This is then reflected in their portrayals of women. In a great irony, feminism rejects the value of femininity and works instead as a conduit to make females masculine.
What an amazing sentence. Holy shit, I couldn't put it better. I could have not put it any better.
The biological differences between the sexes are seen not as something to be celebrated, but as obstacles to be destroyed. These natural differences are thus downplayed, and studios put ridiculous efforts into making female characters look and behave like their male counterparts. Things weren't
Because the only way to be a badass bitch is to behave like a man. Bro. Like, the one thing I believe is wrong with society is believing that there is something like fundamentally manly and fundamentally womanly, I guess, like feminine and masculine. Like, let people just do whatever the fuck they enjoy, right? That's like my opinion on it. They want women to be toxic males. They criticize. Ugh. Kids, sometimes it takes a man to be the best girl. Like, in my opinion, the thing that's wrong with society is like people saying pink is a girly color, and if a man likes pink, the man is a girl, making the guy maybe confused about how he thinks. But if I went any deeper into this topic about how I truly fucking feel about this subject, I would get cancelled because it's unacceptable to think that way. Ugh.
Always this way in Western media, but they certainly are now. Meanwhile, this kind of feminist influence simply does not exist.
Funny enough, pink used to be the manly color. Pink was originally a color for boys, as red was for men. Yeah, red was connected to royalty, wasn't it? My PC setups RGB lights are set to pink and teal. Hey! The guy who wanted to be like Spider-Man got arrested and not allowed to be Spider. Lamau. Purple royal color. Oh yeah, purple was a royal color. True.
But they certainly are now. Meanwhile, this kind of feminist influence simply does not exist in anime studios, and that's played an enormous part in this contrast of character design.
Yep, agreed. The one on the left definitely looks more like a woman. Like, if you want to look the way, like, on the right, yeah, sure, but on the left is inherently feminine. Like, you cannot argue that the left looks inherently feminine.
And beyond just the issue of feminism, a solid portion of the animation that gets propped up by corporations in the West is downright hideous. So it's clear that the physical appearance of anime girls is a main factor that makes them popular in the current West. But I will submit—
They're cute, they're pretty, they're... Also, that's not to say that there aren't tomboys in anime. There's a lot of tomboys in anime. There's a lot of female characters that do act more masculine, but they're still... Like, you still know they're women. Like,
admit to you that there is an even greater factor at play that goes far deeper than physical appearance. To lead into this, let's look at how Maki from the anime Love Lab responds to receiving a compliment from a boy.
Let me make myself smaller, sorry.
Is
that Kirito's voice actor? That sounds like Kirito. I think that's pretty much Kirito. I love Kirito's voice actor, bro. He's so good! Such a good voice actor! Oh my god. That's so adorable. What's this anime?
Take note of the traits that are being displayed here. This leads into the point. Anime girls are liked because of their virtuous and feminine personality traits.
It's Love Lab? Okay.
A female character portraying bashfulness like this is common in anime, but all but extinct in Western media. Generally, these characters demonstrate attributes that make them ideal candidates for wives, including loyalty, modesty, and a positive view of marriage and children.
Not Planet. Not the scene. No, Chad, hold me. No, I'm gonna cry. Nagisa.
It's a common sight in anime, especially in the slice-of-life genre, to see characters outright fantasize about marriage.
Oh my god. Oh, it's Blenders!
Characters are written this way intentionally.
Oh my god, the Rem. Will they ever get Rem back?
Because not only do these virtues make them good love interests, but they're also admirable traits in and of themselves. I've noticed that chastity in particular is a value that anime likes to highlight. This applies to both male and female characters, but to avoid going off topic, I'll stick to the females. Importantly, even female protagonists that are designed in a sexualized way are written carefully to have these virtues. I may not be a fan of some of these designs because they stride the line towards sexploitation, but their behavior, as I've described, shows that they're written with nuance. As one example of this, in the anime Overlord, the character Albedo is revealed to be a virgin despite her sexualized appearance.
Damn. I've only ever watched the first season of it. I gotta watch the rest. Holy shit. All I remember is her being extremely horny for the main character, man.
It's a rarity to hear a character say something like this outside of anime.
That's true.
Now, these female characterizations draw a stark contrast to not only Western media.
Yeah, I remember a bit got changed by the protag as a joke, and then it actually went through.
India, but Western society itself. Currently in the West, values like modesty, chastity, and romantic exclusivity are increasingly treated as unnecessary or antiquated. This is in spite of the fact that most research shows that these things are critical to developing healthy long-term relationships. A 2019 research report from the Institute of Family Studies found that traditionally minded and religious couples reported the highest level of relationship quality and sexual satisfaction. Other research has shown that
But come again?
Institute of Family Studies found that traditionally minded and religious couples reported the highest level of relationship quality and sexual satisfaction.
Okay.
Other research has shown that women who engage in promiscuous sex are more likely to have failed marriages, more likely to...
What does promiscuous mean? 80% who had never had a non-marital partner wins. They will sleep around. Okay. An easy woman. Okay. Got it.
become single mothers, more likely to get an abortion, and less likely to report personal happiness than women who had 0 sexual partners prior to being married. It truthfully turns out that the sexual revolution and...
I mean, society is gonna hate me for this, but it's, in the end, that's biology and nature. We are animals, after all, and our instincts do tell us to act a certain way. And yes, animals can be gay too. I know. I'm just saying. Like, the natural instinct, the main natural instinct is still procreate.
Free love were an utter disaster. But in spite of this, most of Western society continues to double down on normalizing promiscuity. Fortunately, though, things aren't all bad just yet, as surveys do show that people say that those with more than 2 past sexual partners are undesirable for long-term relationships. The problem is that Americans report having between 4 and 7 past...
Person with more than 2 past sexual partners undesirable for long-term... Wow. The average American adult reports having had between 4 and 7? Oh, America! Damn!
Sexual partners. This has created an extreme gap between the kind of person people want a long-term relationship with and the kind they can actually choose from. Furthermore, the average age people first report having sex is 17. Now add in the fact that data shows marriage has a negative correlation with number of sex partners. That is, the more sex partners a person has, the less successful their marriage is likely to be.
I can see the correlation. That it doesn't necessarily mean that's causation, but the numbers are pointing in that direction. The numbers do be pointing in that direction. Of course, there's exception to everything. Of course. 0? It's if they never had one before marriage. 0 is if they never had one before marriage.
All of these things have come together to create a relationship wasteland in the West. It's created a situation where the average person has to choose between settling for a spouse with many past sexual partners, which they don't want, or dropping the idea of marriage entirely. A horrible situation through and through. Meanwhile, rather than trying to reverse this, Western media has led the charge in exacerbating this crisis. Studio executives practically fall over themselves to put forward female characters that are sexually promiscuous and masculine. As an example, in the show Game of Thrones, nearly every single female character is written to either be involved in numerous sexual relationships or to have no interest in men whatsoever.
I'm thinking of the 2 daughters. Like, I forgot their names, man. But I'm thinking of the daughters of the main family. I mean, she did have her a scene in the last one. Sansa and Arya. Yeah, Arya did have a scene which was so fucking unnecessary, by the way, in the last season. So freaking unnecessary, and Sansa was... Yeah, you guys know what happened to Sansa if you watched it. I don't think either of these necessarily had no interest in men. I mean, even our blondie who was defending Sansa, what was her name? The big one, the big lady, the big woman. I loved her, man. Bro, she had a crush on fucking Jamie. What was that his name? Bro, I think she was so adorable. Like, even though she wanted to be like a fighter and shit, she still had feelings. I think this isn't necessarily a fair point. Brienne of Tarth, yeah, man, Brienne of Tarth. I loved her. Oh, Brienne of Tarth. Oh, I love her so much. And just because she's a big woman and doesn't show so much interest in sex doesn't mean that she doesn't have any feelings. I think Game of Thrones is actually a really good example of a diverse woman.
Other shows that focus on teenage relationships are rife with premarital sex, abortion, homosexuality, and marriage being treated as a backwards institution. So with both Western media and society increasingly abandoning both feminine and monogamous traits, anime has done the opposite. It's now effectively one of the last reliable places young men can look to find idealized female portrayals who would make good wives. Thus, it shouldn't...
Raftalia is just best girl. She's so adorable, man. Raftalia is so freaking adorable, man. Like, look at her ear twitch.
Find idealized female portrayals who would make good wives. Thus, it shouldn't be surprising at all that it's garnered a large male audience. Now, a lot of anime fans may recognize this fact implicitly, but not actually be cognizant of it. There are, after all, many anime fans who are...
That shirt. That freaking shirt!
And I think part of the...
Raise your hand if you're a degenerate, chat! I would. I don't have a raising hand toggle. But I'm raising my hand! I'm raising my hand in spirit. I'm raising my hands in spirits.
The reason these people exist is because they were never able to recognize what makes anime girls unique in the first place. And while I'm sure someone can find exceptions to what I've said in this video, they are just that.
The happy ending.
Exceptions. To draw
the happy ending.
The anime industry produces some beautiful works that we, as Westerners, can learn from. None of this is to say that anime is perfect or that Japan is a perfect country. All things have their flaws. But what's clear here is that anime's female portrayals show feminine nature in a positive light that feminist media never can or will. In essence...
Yeah, isn't it really funny? Like how he said earlier, I just want to point that out again. That feminism nowadays is not to empower women and make them equal, but to have them be more masculine. Like, that's not feminism anymore. That's some butchered-ass fucking version of feminism.
It exposes the current cultural crisis in the West in both media and public attitudes. When a huge portion of your male population has to look to a foreign medium to find virtuous female portrayals, that's a serious problem. I ultimately hope this video helps people see the value of virtue and the void that's left when people turn their back on it.
Honestly, I was expecting like a half-assed beamed video, but it's actually quite insightful. What the hell?
Now there may be some things I forgot to mention, so feel free to leave your views in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing and clicking the notification bell, as it really helps me to make more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
Gang signs!
Either way, that was actually a really good video. I honestly expected more of a Mimi video. Thanks for recommending it, chat. I liked it. Very insightful, very enjoyable. Thanks for watching, YouTubes.